Probably not. No.
Very conservative.
Well, do you think they're big Trump supporters?
In Hillsdale?
Yeah.
I don't know, but I think if you put Trump for 2016 on their sidewalks, they probably wouldn't.
But what if you put
What
if you put Sanders?
I still say they'd shoot you, but
in the kidney.
In the kidney, but that's just Hillsdale.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's true.
I doubt it.
Going along that line, there was a anti-gun professor. I can't remember the damn.
Isn't that redundant?
University. Yeah, it can be.
You ever met a professor that wasn't anti-gun or at least a little liberal?
No. Yeah, I have.
Have you really?
Yeah, I
it.
have a few professors that are in the wildlife, natural resources thing that are fairly conservative.
Really?
Yeah.
They're not all global warming?
No. No, God, no.
Okay. Good. No, it's good.
Anyways, professor looks out her window and is paralyzed.
I hate it when I look out my window and become paralyzed.
Paralyzed with fear. So she calls the police, right?
So she wasn't actually paralyzed with fear.
Apparently not enough that she couldn't dial the phone.
Or it was temporary.
Maybe it was temporary paralysis. I don't know.
She finally got to the phone.
However she did it.
Yeah.
Maybe she
voice dialed.
Maybe she had an assistant
she
monkey.
Voiced that.
She had a helper monkey.
Probably. Well, she probably had a female intern that she didn't pay.
Certainly not $15 an hour.
Right.
Now, she was paralyzed with fear, yet was able to
dial the phone,
as we've established. My God, there's people outside with guns, and they're wearing camouflage, and they're walking around the campus. Please come. So the police came, investigated, approached the professor, and said, it's ROTC drilling. They're going to be doing this all week long.
And also, they've been at this university for 100 years.
Or more. And
about as long as you've been here, ma'am.
Stop bugging us. She goes, well, I'm going to call the police every time I see them.
Yeah.
Because that's wrong. They shouldn't be out there doing anything like that.
Well, usually the line is only the police and the military should be allowed to have firearms. Now, I know ROTC, not exactly military, right? But that's kind of the point of it. So it seems like she'd be okay with it.
Well, but the thing is, I think she was paralyzed with fear when the police showed up because
she had to have been.
Yeah,
that's right. That goes along with the point I'm making.
Some of them were.
Did she call the police?
On the police?
Yeah,
I've done that.
Yeah, how'd that work out?
Not so good. I got a beating.
Did you?
Yeah.
by the second cop that showed up, the one you called.
Yeah. So this is the kind of asinine, stupid behavior that some of these people, and I'm not just saying it's professors, but a lot of these people.
It's not just professors, and the fact that she's a professor doesn't matter. Other than, I thought she was supposed to be smarter than other people.
No one ever said that.
A lot of people say that.
My grandmother always said some of the dumbest people she ever met had PhDs.
Obama was a professor. Look how smart he is.
He was never a professor.
Oh, he was a law professor.
No, he was not.
He was a constitutional law professor.
Never taught a class in his life.
Constitutional law professor.
Nope. Okay, so
what? Stun guns? That's a big one.
Okay.
I mean, it's not going to turn into anything, but
that's a SCOTUS.
Yeah, that's
Supreme Court of the United States.
Without Scalia.
An unanimous decree said that electronic stun guns.
Sure, yeah.
Are covered by the Second Amendment, that those are personal arms.
A woman.
But they remanded it back to the court for trial, so it's not like they really said that we're going to throw this out. They just said they have Second Amendment protection.
Right. So
to use that in your decisions for cases.
So the case is a woman was being stalked, whatever, attacked, felt threatened by a man, pulled out a stun gun, chased him away. That was good. But then she was arrested because stun guns were banned. She couldn't own the stun gun wherever she was.
Right.
So she got charged.
And convicted
of
having an illegal device or whatever.
And so what the court said was, no, the original court that heard the trial, no, it's not, or the appeals court, I'm sorry.
Right.
It's not protected by the Second Amendment because in 1791 they could not have possibly predicted that we would have stun guns.
They didn't have stun guns then.
And they couldn't have predicted that we would have that technology now.
Yeah.
And so the Second Amendment does not apply to stun guns.
No.
Now, the First Amendment, however, I'm talking into a microphone. It does apply to microphones.
Going over the airwaves.
It does apply to all that
satellites.
because, look, the Founding Fathers were smart and they meant
predicted
everything.
all that.
But the Second Amendment,
not so
they did not predict stun guns. The Supreme Court said that's ridiculous. They actually made that exact argument that the First Amendment applies to digital media.
Right.
So the same argument can be made to technology other than what was
Black
available.
powder
what was available
lead.
in 1791.
Right.
Now I'm thinking that's pretty good precedence for it to also extend to guns and I don't know, nuclear bombs,
bazookas,
tanks,
automatic weapons
for sure. All those things.
Knives.
I said knives. Yeah, you said knives. You're right. Yeah,
It's pronounced.
That was my first one because bazookas and things are regulated
and
quite a bit, but
swords,
knives are regulated. Your rights to knives are infringed upon all
the time.
Over the place.
In the state of Michigan,
almost worse than guns. In Michigan, it is worse than guns.
Yeah.
Right, because every municipality can have their own ordinance or laws.
No preemption,
either banning them or having. In this township you can have a 3-inch blade. In this township, only 2.5 or 4, and you don't know, right? That's ridiculous. Which is why we have firearms
or switchblades. Most states have laws against switchblades,
right?
So, is that the automatic weapon of knives?
I think so.
I guess it is.
I think so. That's a good point. I hadn't actually thought of that. That they're actually.
I'm brilliant.
They're actually banned because the argument is, well, sure, the Second Amendment protects firearms. But you can regulate them, right? You can't ban them. That's the argument. What I'm saying, no, I don't believe that's true. But we seem to be okay and think that the Second Amendment allows for concealed pistol licensing, right? So you can take that a little further and say, well, sure, you can regulate knives to say you can only have a 3-inch blade. But I don't think that you can ban certain types of knives. Going along the same line of thinking of you can't ban guns, you can't ban stun guns, I don't think you can ban switchblades. Yeah. So I think what you should do, you should find a good lawyer. I know you haven't found one yet. You should challenge that.
Are there any criminal lawyers in this town? I don't know. We've never been able to convict them.
But that's hilarious. All right, we're running out of time. I think what we need to do, though, is talk about Easter. We haven't talked about Easter.
Or 10 bizarre children books that somehow actually exist.
Let's do that. So Happy Easter.
Happy Easter.
That's coming up this weekend.
Yep.
And 10 bizarre children's books.
Los Angeles
one of these
Times.
is LA Times, man.
They posted 10 bizarre children's books.
That's up there in the liberal media.
Right.
That's like New York Times.
Guess what was number one?
On the other side. Or was it number 10? I don't know.
No, it was number 1, and it was the only one with a picture of our cover.
Yeah, no, that's good.
My Parents' Open Carry was there. Guess what? Our sales went up way up today. It was fantastic.
It really did happen, actually.
We feel bad all the way to the bank.
Thank you, LA Times, for that. They didn't actually say...
They were good or bad.
Yeah, not necessarily. It
them.
did have some weird stuff in there about the kids being terrified or whatever, something like that. But otherwise, it wasn't like
that. Right. They said they openly carried, and I'm sure everyone they passed was terrified.
And if they had read the book, they would see no. Only a couple people were terrified.
Right. And we don't care about them.
Right. I'm not here to make you feel good.
So thank you, LA Times.
Yeah, that's good. I'm hoping next time it can be picked up by like the Toronto News or something.
Routers?
Yeah. Reuters?
Whatever
that'd be good. Or maybe Studio 10
or
in Australia.
Or UPS? Or what's one of those?
What?
Yeah, UPS or whatever. The big news agencies out there.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Okay.
Al Jazeera America?
Ooh, that'd be a good one.
They did.
Oh, yeah, they did do a thing on us, yeah. That helped our sales, too. Actually go number 1 on Amazon. By the way, check out My Parents' Open Carry on Amazon. Order your book today.
MyParentsOpenCarry.com. So Facebook.com/AdOddShow, AdOddShow.com.
We want to thank everyone for listening.
MyParentsOpenCarry.com.
Let's see.
No, we're out of time. I'm just.
Happy Easter.
Do you have something to say? Happy Easter. See you next week.
Bye-bye.